It's the NFL on EA Sports, and the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Eagles and the Saints, and it's all just ahead on Madden NFL 25.
Well, folks, it is always a celebration here in New Orleans, and we are just outside of the Hoppin' French Quarter at the Caesars Superdome.
Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Saints team as they enter play. They come in feeling good after back-to-back victories. Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Eagles, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
Two weeks have come and gone. It's off to week 3, and we're underway on EA Sports.
Oh, a good-looking return setup here. Out come the Eagles for the first time, and the man in charge at quarterback in his 5th year now, Jalen Hurts.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an
Had
interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
First play, and Hurts looking to throw it.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done.
They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Now Hurts going to keep it running left. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. Throwing is Hurts. And that is incomplete. Well, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down. And there on your screen, Charles, the key inactives guys out this week.
And there's never anything good about any injury, but there's a silver lining to them, is that it creates opportunity for someone else on the depth chart. Will they take advantage of it with good play? Or have they not prepared well, thinking they'll never get on the field, and they'll go out there and hurt their team?
That's good for a first down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
So in Saints territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 41. Hurts sets up to throw it.
And he's taken down here by the Saints.
Colin Saunders, the defensive tackle, getting in there for a loss of 5. Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. They'll run for the first time with Kenneth Gainwell.
And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Just a yard on the gain there, and that leaves him with 14 yards still to go on 3rd down.
Hurts.
Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46.
Colin Saunders. Now 2 sacks for him already here in this first quarter of play. They'll make that a 2nd sack here on their first drive out defensively. And not to get ahead of ourselves, but they're on pace for double-digit sacks at this point.
Well, they're going to have to find a way to tamp that down, aren't they? So if you're the play caller, you're telling your quarterback maybe some screens, maybe some draws, hard count, use your voice inflection a little bit, anything to try and slow that pressure down.
And this works out well as it'll kick out of bounds at the 11-yard line.
The Saints heading out for the first time, and there's Derek Carr at quarterback in his 11th NFL season now and 2nd in black and gold.
Well, he did go 2-2 in the last ball game. Well, actually, he went 2-2-1, with the one being the victory.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line there. But wasn't it funny at practice? He threw one when we were watching, threw an interception, and the defense got on him a little bit, good-naturedly. But they're letting him know, you got to cut down those interceptions. We can't bail you out all the time.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. But as you said, they got the win in that effort last week. Now Carr. Got a man complete to Cedric Wilson. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Now Carr. Under pressure, and down he goes. Buried for the sack by big Jalen Carter.
And let's not forget, there were some scouts who believed Carter was the best defensive player in last year's draft. Heck, there were scouts who thought he was the best player overall in last year's draft. And he recorded an impressive 6 sacks in his rookie year. And truth be told, that number doesn't tell half the story of just how dominant he can be.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. On play action, it's Carr. And the pressure gets to him again. Well-timed effort by Darius Slay. A sack on the corner blitz.
They've gobbled up over 30 yards of turf so far, but a sack knocks them backwards. And that interrupts the momentum they were building. Good opportunity for the defense to escape this drive before they get to the end zone.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Throwing now is Carr. Under pressure, and they got to him again. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. Here comes the Saints punter now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And he'll take it on this side of midfield. It's a 42-yard punt, but 8 on the return. And the Eagles will have great starting field position here as they take over. Here's Hurts to throw. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. They'll look to throw here. It's caught on the right side, and Smith. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. He'll look to throw. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6. On 4th down, punt coming from Braden Mann. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their 2nd drive. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Here's Carr to throw.
Flushed out. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. And it's picked up by the Eagles.
A disappointing end of the sequence there. He was starting to turn nothing into something, and then he lost the football.
And sometimes things get lost in the transition. And what I mean by that is you go from being a passer to a runner. And at a certain point, once you cross the line of scrimmage, you're strictly a runner now. There's no more downfield threat. Make sure you take care of the football while you're traversing downfield.
Wilson's got it complete. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
They're going to look to throw. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
Jalen Hurts,
his 4th touchdown on the year.
And the Eagles use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one.
Elliott good on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away.
And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Carr going to lead the Saints up here 1st and 10.
At their own 24. They'll try and start this drive in the air.
Oh, he'll look downfield for Kamara.
And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down. Now Carr. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Shotgun now for Carr. Able to shake him up. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
Offensively lucky there, able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
43-yard punt, but they get 9 back on the return.
And it will be Eagles football 1st and 10.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Wreaking havoc was Nathan Shepard, the D tackle.
Well, how about this? A fistful of sacks already. We're not even out of the 1st quarter yet. What an incredible start for this defense. If they keep this pace up, they could be looking at an all-time performance.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
3rd and 9 here. So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
Still 3rd down.
After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long.
Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts.
And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Cameron Jordan with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7.
Out now is the punter, Braden Mann.
And he's getting a workout here in this 1st quarter as he gets it away.
And now we're going to get a stoppage as, yeah, that looks like Jackson who's shaken up. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside.
The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see.
They'll get this out to Kamara.
A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
3rd down and 1.
Carr now to throw.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. But forget the run on 3rd and 1. They shock the D and rip off a pretty big play.
Normally on 3rd down and short yardage, you're thinking to throw to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the first down and then some.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 34. A first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. It's the Saints in possession. So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Now they'll toss it out right to Kamara. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
To throw, it's Carr. And he can't escape, and down he goes.
Milton Williams able to get him down for a loss of 11.
And it brings up 4th down.
But, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad.
Philadelphia's offense ready to give us another look. And Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
And he'll take this one up over the 20 to the 21-yard line.
From the 21, here's 2nd and 4. Once again, it's Shipley.
And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for an Eagle first down.
Those are the types of run, Charles, that they say this first-year running back can provide a lot more of in the future.
He made it look easy, didn't he? Picking up that first down. Some have described him as a diamond in the rough with a lot of polish, nice little bumping. This guy could be one of the top backs going forward.
That'll be caught by Shipley.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
From the 41,
Hurts. That's complete to Shipley.
all fighting off the defender. So give him 2 yards there on the completion. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
From the gun, it's Hurts.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. The pocket collapsed around him. I know we talk about it a lot, but a QB has to have that sixth sense, doesn't he?
He really does, and I know of one team at one point was training their quarterback with that time frame, and anytime he didn't get rid of the ball within the right amount of time, they would blow a horn or blow a whistle to show him this is what that time is, just what you're talking about, training him to understand this is the amount you have, make sure the ball's gone. Didn't happen in this case.
And it's caught over the middle. Wilson. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
14 yards is the pickup. First down, New Orleans.
From the gun, it's Carr.
Complete to Olave on the out route.
And he is going to lose yardage here. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long.
Delay of game. Offense.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit.
Still 2nd down.
To throw his Carr. That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. 23 yards, the final tally.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Kamara is into the end zone for a Saints touchdown. Just power football there, down near the goal line. Give it to him. He's able to push his way across.
Yeah, they went heavy there. Sometimes you have those big offensive linemen come in, have to report like they're eligible, but all they're doing is getting a good stance, blocking, and getting their runner across the goal line.
Groupie able to add the PAT.
And we are tied at 7. A drive there of just 4 plays. And the capper came from Alvin Kamara on the touchdown run.
And he won't quite make it to the 25.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field.
Last time out, they had the fumble. That led to the touchdown. Not a great look on either side of the ball as the defense gave up the points too, Charles. But they've got to take care of the football and do better here on this possession.
It's certainly been a tough stretch, partner, for both of those units in there. Kind of put their defensive mates in a really tough spot there by dropping the ball on the ground. But an easy way to make it up to them, get out there now and get some points on this drive.
Here's 2nd and 10. Throwing is Hurts.
Over the middle, it's complete. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. On 3rd down, they go with Shipley.
And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Hurts sets up to throw it.
That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on 1st down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
Hurts going to give this to Shipley.
And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
Hurts.
And he's taken down here by the Saints.
No surprise there. Chase Young wrecks that play with a sack. Here's Braden Mann now,
as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Fair catch called for and made at the 16 or maybe the 17-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10.
Carr going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10.
At their own 18.
And from the shotgun, he'll throw.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of this.
And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. They push him back 8 yards that time on second down.
I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational, CD. That is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And pressure coming, and they got him once again.
Milton Williams.
That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. Here comes the Saints punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he'll just punch it out of there, and it's not a great kick. Taken on the midfield logo. That'll go as a 39-yard punt, give him 9 on the return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And that'll be incomplete.
Well, we've seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half, unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety.
And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down.
Cameron Jordan able to get in there yet again. That's already 3 sacks for him here in this first half of football. So after that sack, Hurts and the Eagles, tough spot here, 3rd and long.
They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. Able to avoid him at the 40.
Hurts fumbles it, but it looks like one of the DBs has it.
And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
We know he's got the speed to get downfield, Charles, but there's the negative side. A little loose with the football that time.
And that's normal, especially when you have his type of talents, because you feel like you're into the open field and maybe you don't feel the people who are around you or closing in. All quarterbacks have to do extra ball security drills with the way the game's played now because defenses, they attack the football as much as they attack the runner.
The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. Snap comes at 1, and it's Carr. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46.
The sack there by Brandon Graham coming in and bringing him down to the ground. Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game.
Well, this has turned into an absolute week to forget for this quarterback. Multiple sacks. Pair that with multiple turnovers. As far as he's concerned, if he ever sees this defense again, it'll be way too soon.
On play action, now Carr. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts.
So as they talk it over, we step aside.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and the Eagles will have it taking over 1st and 10. Now Philadelphia ready to get going on offense again. And they got across the 50 last time but fumbled and turned it over, so they'll be looking to have a short-term memory here, Mr. Davis.
Not only a short-term memory, but a whole lot better ball security. Because if they take care of the ball, continue to move it, their chances of scoring some points, they've got to feel pretty good about. They thought they had things moving in the right direction last time. Fumbles, they don't just affect you on offense, they affect your overall team because now your defense has to make that stand up.
Out to the flat, that's complete to his running back. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Here's Hurts to throw.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. The Eagles will take their 3rd and final timeout as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. Again, he'll drop to throw.
He'll find Gainwell out of the backfield.
And he is going to lose yardage here.
2nd and 11 at the 41.
They'll look to throw again. That's caught by the big tight end, Dallas Goedert. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints 39. That one good for 20 on the catch and run. Back to throw again. And he will find his man on the outside. So a touchdown apiece. That's what we have to show at halftime as they head to the locker room. 7-7 our score. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman.
One big play could turn out to be the difference.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And he's all the way up across the 40 and down at the 42. Great return. Now the Saints going to take over on offense to begin this 3rd quarter. Well, the first half, very even. I mean, really, in all facets, this ball game tied, Charles. So as we start the 3rd quarter, curious to see what the second half brings us.
Certainly am. I'm with you on that one. And we all know a lot of coaches from the NFL all the way down to the Pee-wee level. They love to spin it to their teams. Hey, we're starting a brand new, shorter ball game. It's all even. Let's go out and seize it. This is ours. And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback, he's now received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. They fake the handoff. Now Carr. Flush to his right. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for 3rd.
Oh, partner, just a second earlier, and they might have had him because they certainly thought they were going to close in and drop him behind the line of scrimmage, but he had just enough time to dodge the pressure, and he ends up getting yardage before being stopped.
And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down.
Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
Here comes the Saints punter now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Pulled in at the 24. They'll call it a punt of 44 yards. The return was for 7.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Eagles offense and Jalen Hurts ready to take over once more. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets, and it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. And connecting quickly with Goddard.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Wilson. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. Slot man moves right. From just shy of midfield, Hurts. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
Straight ahead, Shipley. He'll get this down to the 38. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts.
Over the middle, complete. That's Smith. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll leave him with 3rd and a full yard to go.
They'll give it to Shipley.
And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first.
We ought to come up with a T-shirt and sell it that says, no indecision on 3rd and 1. And we didn't see it on that run, did we? Got his shoulders square, just got right into the line of scrimmage and picked it up.
Absolutely. Picked his lane, went with it, and converted. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. That is caught. It's the tight end Goddard. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. The end result, 21 yards.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That one doesn't find its target, but all in all, he's been much sharper this week. He was under 50% a week ago, and now he's up over 70%.
Well, you know it's standard for quarterbacks and receivers get together for a little extra time each and every day in practice. I get the sense they got together for a lot of extra time this week to try and improve that passing percentage, and it's worked out quite well.
3 tight ends up front here, 3rd and goal.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Cameron Jordan, who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon. So Hurts is off, and on comes Jake Elliott for the Eagle field goal.
From the right hash here, should be an easy one.
The kick by Elliott is good.
And they take the lead here now at 10-7. They had it 1st and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep routes, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans.
Now this game, it has obviously been all about the defense on both sides of the football. Which offense is going to break through here? We'll see if they can do it on this drive.
Now Carr.
Gets this complete to Shaheed.
And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive, 1st down.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
Downfield, and he's got Olave.
And he's able to get it all the way down to the 20. A big change in field position there. That's 40 yards on the catch and run.
You just had the feeling that sooner or later someone was going to come up with that one play. Neither team has really done a whole lot offensively, but here's one that pays off to the tune of big yardage, and it's one that could maybe get this group in gear.
So a big play as it gets them all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. Now Carr. And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd. Play action. Now it's Carr. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. Carr going to throw. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36.
Jalen Carter picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
That's his second sack of the game, and the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
So Carr departs, and on is Blake Grupe for the Saints field goal.
From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And that will knot us up at 10.
So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because, you know, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
And the kick team down there quickly. They don't have to run as far as they used to, and they're able to stop him before he can even make it to the 15. Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10
at their own 37. In motion right is Smith.
Now a fake on the jet sweep, and they'll instead run up the middle.
And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Ball on the 40 now. Here's 2nd down and 7.
They're going to look to throw.
And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down. So 7 yards from the 1st down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
Hurts dangerous when he runs that football. He's got a first.
Remember, Brandon, he ran for a touchdown earlier, so his decision to go ahead and tuck it and go again turned out to be a wise one.
And the decision is what is important here. He has made some good decisions on when to tuck it and go.
On 1st and 10, it's Gainwell.
He'll get it to the 40. Broke a tackle there to get some extra yardage. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
From the gun, it's Hurts.
Looking here for Smith downfield. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Throwing is Hurts.
And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. The escapability in evidence there is that one good for 15 and a first.
Hurts sets up to throw it.
Eluding the pressure right. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down. So it's a quarter that saw these two teams trade field goals here as we've reached the end of 3 quarters of play.
You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. 2nd down and 3.
Knotted up here at 10. That's our score as we begin quarter number 4.
Hurts throwing quickly to Wilson.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A great play there with his first career NFL touchdown.
And the Eagles have broken this deadlock and have taken the lead here in the 4th. So still time remaining here in this 4th quarter, but the touchdown there puts them back out in front.
And you and I both know that their defense will not very subtly remind everyone that they started all of this because they held firm on the last drive and only gave up a field goal. Gave it back to the offense in a tie game and said, okay, your turn now, make something happen. And they went down the field and scored.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense.
And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense.
And now, after the touchdown a moment ago, they work from behind in a 7-point game in this fourth quarter. Plenty of time on the clock.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Here's 2nd and 7.
Carr.
That'll be taken in by Shaheed.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Give them 18 there, and the Saints have a first down.
I like the design that we're seeing right there. This is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the fourth. They just need to keep working their way downfield. And when they see openings, take their shots.
Now Carr. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield.
Brandon Graham able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Kamara up the middle. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up.
Though certainly in a pickle here. They have a mile to go to try to pick up the first. We'll see what they've drawn up.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble. Here comes the Saints punter now as he's on here to punt it away. It'll be a net of 40 yards following a punt of 44. And out will come the offense as they take over.
Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10
at their own 44.
They'll start on the ground with Shipley.
And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory.
46 yards rushing for him now to this point. From the 46, here's 2nd and a yard. Straight ahead, it's Gainwell.
And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
Here's Hurts to throw.
He's got Wilson, middle of the field. And he's taken down inside the 30. Philadelphia picking up the first on a gain of 15.
And that play came together really well for them as he found open space, makes the catch, and gets down to the 1-yard line. You know he's kicking himself right now. He thought he had a chance to get a touchdown and put that in his ledger. Instead, his team gets a chance to cash in over these next few plays.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Flushed out right. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. They'll set up a throw. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 3rd.
They're backed up here. Tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first.
He'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And they move this all the way down to the 9. Able to find a lot of empty space there, picking up the first down at a 21-yard gain.
On the option left, it's Hurts. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. It'll be a gain of 5 there as they move closer. It's 2nd and goal. A little do-it-yourself run right there and a nice gain.
And I like that he knew that that was about all he was going to get. So he did a nice job of protecting himself, took care of the football, took what the defense gave him. If they can...
And he's in for an Eagles touchdown. A great effort there. With 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game.
And the Eagles are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this 4th quarter lead. Just a great individual effort there to take that pop pass and scamper off into the end zone.
And that's why offenses love that play partner, because that gives them a chance to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers with a full head of steam behind them. It's often like a track relay. Legs 2, 3, and 4. That first guy steaming ahead, and he just hands it to you, and you get a chance to take off and go before you even get the baton.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The New Orleans offense back out and ready to go. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Here's Rattler.
Finding Taysom Hill complete. 7 yards there and a first down. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Good yardage there on first down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making first downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your second down play.
Over the middle and complete to Shaheed.
5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of, until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. Despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. Second down.
Now Rattler. And that almost their first INT of the ball game. Had his sights on it, but he couldn't seal the deal.
The offense on third down, a very anemic 1 for 9 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13.
Rattler wants to throw it.
Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the first.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And he's going to get this inside the 30.
So the drive stays alive after the 4th down conversion. 1st and 10 inside the 30.
Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield.
So 2nd and 4 from the 22. They'll throw. Here's Rattler. The pass caught by Olave.
And the chains move again, and that's typical for Olave because he's been a consistent playmaker dating back to his days as a Buckeye, and that trend has only continued ever since he arrived in the NFL. Over 1,000 yards for the 2nd straight season last year, and he's someone the Saints expect huge things from going forward. And these two hooked up on a nice gain to play before, and I always admire play callers that see a play that works and go right back to it, so they went right back to him. The reward? They're set up with 1st and goal.
To the air is Rattler.
And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. He's got it, and it's 24-17. So that drive, 12 plays in length. So just under 2 minutes to play, and this would figure to pretty much be your ball game right here. And the Eagles hands team able to cover it up. And now looking at the clock here, they do have 2 timeouts, but even if they force a 3-and-out, they're going to have very little time remaining.
So that means they've got to be aggressive and find a way to knock the ball free. They've got to come up with it because they can't just rely, as you noted, on using their timeouts and getting the ball back. They might not have any time to mount an attack, even if they do play it that way. Get the football. That's their mantra.
Now they show jet sweep, but instead a run up the middle here.
And now we're going to get a timeout defensively. So another stop, 1:50 left in the football game.
Now a 2nd and 6. On the handoff, it's Shipley.
Now the Saints will use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. They'll run again. And that should do it. He's got a 1st down. And the Eagles, they can run it out from here.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach? He's in big trouble.
Hurts down to one knee, and that should just about do it.
So with that knee, 3 weeks in the books, and they creep above 500 now at 2-1.
You know, I played with a guy once after taking a knee at the end of the game, and he came in and grabbed the equipment manager and said, make sure you wash that spot, special, because I just took a knee for a win. That tells you how much guys enjoy that, because getting a win, no one takes it for granted.
What a finish in this one, Charles. This group, they come in, they have to fight a hostile atmosphere every snap. They get the late score, they get the victory, and that flight home, it's going to be a little sweeter after this one.
And Brandon, just like you, I was fired up for that last sequence. How about that? Wouldn't you have loved to have been in the huddle when they were mounting that game-winning drive? Big-time moment. No one shied away from it. They tuned out the crowd, kept their heads, and executed the way they needed to earn that win.